We're pouring a elaborate horse trough. It's got you can come over here, Eric, with your camera. It's got the face, the inside of the mold, lined with different types of molding, beaded board, door trim, just different types of things that'll leave an imprint on the concrete whenever it's removed. And it's got a place for power to come in, and there'll be a spigot on the outside to drain it. And it's going to act it's got a 5-inch lip on it, so it can act like a water table. Also, it's taking the place of a coffee table on a patio. It'll be a heavy replacement.
So Jenks, you're spraying it with diesel?
Spray the inside with diesel. You can buy this stuff called concrete release, which is just a liquid that coats the wood and sort of helps the mold pop off after the concrete is poured and dried. But diesel is just a cheaper way to do that. Work to a bathtub. I mean, you created the mold.
It's something I had never think of on that. It'll look good when it's done.
Adrian, can you get us some water?
Yep.
Oh, fella.
This looks like something out of Brazil.
What?
This thing with the big tubes coming out of it, like Brazil, was it a science fiction movie?
Is it 1 scoop of sand to 1 bag of mortar?
Sand is only for texture. It's just so that when we get this finished in the long run, we get an outside, like kind of very coarse texture, which is how a lot of old concrete used to look. And the sand is probably actually taken away from the strength of the concrete, but in this case, we don't really care. The concrete already has pebbles and aggregate mixed into it. But we did before we did 2 scoops, and just looking at it, I think that's not enough. On the bottom it doesn't matter because it's the bottom, but I think we might jump it up to 4 scoops of sand. And is this the first time you've poured concrete?
No, this is not the first time I've poured concrete.
What was the first concrete pouring project you had?
My internship here.
Where?
At Moore Farms here. My internship.
How many yards did you pour?
There was more than 1 truck. I know that. We graded the site, built the footers, then formed up the walls and poured the walls, and then topped it with a little reel.
You designed all that.
And designed, yeah. Hope it floats.
Floats. So there's going to be a little pump sitting in the bottom, and the pump's going to be 4 ways. And there are going to be 4 tubes that go laying in the bottom of the trough. They come up, the tubes come up through the side of the concrete, and there are going to be like 4 little ceramic salamanders. Jerry Burdick sitting on the corners of the trough, lifting the rag into it.
was cool.
Yeah.
And then toward the end of the process, they kind of help get a smoother finish along the edge. You need to kind of tap along the edge of the form. But also what this does is what helps you give that smoother finish is it pushes the concrete or the cement out toward the edges and kind of gets in front of the aggregate, the gravel. But it also forces air out of it. So after we removed the forms, broke off some of the excess edges and sanded down the top, and then we came back with a copper sulfate solution. It was 1 part copper sulfate to 3 parts water, and boiled it, heated up so it would dissolve into a solution. And we coated the whole thing, would give it this nice kind of bluish, I guess, aged or oxidized copper look. And then we came back and sealed it. Then this morning we filled it with water, and we found out that somewhere along the bottom edge, possibly where the very bottom of the concrete, the very bottom of the trough matches up with the walls coming up vertically, there's a seam, kind of a fault in the structure, and we're not sure exactly why. We did add a little bit of extra sand to the mixture to coarsen the face of it, but we're not really sure why it's leaking. When we removed the mold, we noticed these hairline cracks also along the lip, and when we were shifting this up on the forklift today to move it over here, we lost one of the corners. And we're not sure if it was adding the sand weakened the concrete and didn't allow it to bond well enough with each other, or what. But you know, we've got, you kind of see here, we've got a piece of the steel mesh fence coming up through that should have held it in place, and it really broke off at a very clean edge. So how can we fix this?